Well, this is Australia's favourite car that isn't a ute. It's the Toyota RAV4, and here as a hybrid is arguably what has changed this from being a competent mid-size SUV into being a car that's harder to buy than a Ferrari. Well, we've had this one in our garage for the best part of the last 2 months. So let's go through what's worked and what hasn't with Australia's favourite car, the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid.
The Cruiser Hybrid is priced from $46,415, with metallic paint like on our car adding another $675. That's $3,500 more than the GXL Hybrid, but it's still $2,500 less than the petrol RAV4 Edge. The RAV4's hybrid setup pairs a 2.5 litre 4-cylinder petrol engine with 3 electric motors and a 6.5 amp-hour battery. This gives Australia's favourite SUV a combined output of 163 kilowatts and 221 newton metres, and a very lean fuel consumption claim of just 4.8 litres per 100 kilometres.
Well, for start, the style of the RAV4 is definitely one of its strong points. It's not a traditionally beautiful car, but it's striking and it's modern and it's handsome like all current Toyotas. Now, we personally prefer the look of the more off-road focused RAV4 Edge, but this car as the top spec cruiser model actually pulls it off quite well. The only thing we don't really like are the black wheels, which are a feature of the hybrid. That said, the silver wheels that you get on the petrol car are much better, so I guess we'll consider these the lesser of two evils. Now, one of the benefits of the Cruiser is a power tailgate that is really slow. The thing is though, is you can't actually lock the car until the boot is finished closing. So if you're grabbing your bag and doing a quick dash to get out of the rain, you can't. Well, it's the backseat of a Toyota. As a family car, the RAV4 works really well, particularly when running 4up. These outboard seats have ISOFIX points, they can recline, there's good legroom and decent headroom, USB ports and vents. So tick there, but there's only one map pocket. The leather trim in this car is not really that impressive, especially when you consider it's the best part of $50,000. At this price point, a Mazda gives you Napa. And I guess it's kind of the Toyota thing. It's well built and durable, but it's just not special. The RAV4's funky design extends up here to the front cabin. We've got some cool elements like the rubber trimmed dials. Everything in typical Toyota fashion is easy to find and easy to reach. And of course there are some good practical and thoughtful storage elements like this tray here. And in fact, during our time with the car, it's that practical layout of the interior that has worked really well with the RAV. You put your phone up here naturally on the charge pad. The 2 cup holders here are deep and supportive enough for even tall coffees, plus the hard plastic around there makes it really easy to clean when you, well, will probably spill something. And then in the center console, there's a handy tray to keep your swipe card, which for me is a really sensible way of doing things. The only real usability letdown then is the infotainment system, again. But aside from that, the RAV4 has proved itself to be a really friendly and competent all-rounder during our time with it in the garage. And see, look, handy shelf. But we'll go through now the real element that makes this the silent achiever, the hybrid drivetrain, and why it's such a strong point of this car. Well look, if there's a word you've got to sum up what it's like to drive a RAV4 hybrid, assuming you can get one, the word is effortless. And I guess we've said it before, we'll say it again, this is the beauty of the Toyota hybrid system. You don't have to think about it, you don't have to do anything, you don't have to plan, you don't have to consider it. It just works. And you get real world easy fuel economy. We are doing, well, on average on this car, we're sitting in the low 7 litre per 100 kilometre range, which is a little bit higher than Toyota's claim. But the car's been predominantly run around town. You tend to use the petrol motor more on colder mornings as it starts to heat things up. But then when you are going and you do have some sustained driving, you know the car is going to be using the battery to run electric motors. You don't need to even worry about it. You just get a really efficient family car. And for that, it's easy to see why over 70% of RAV4s sold are hybrids. It makes so much sense. So with the ease of use sorted, what's it like in terms of power delivery? To be honest, it's punchy enough. You've got good response from the petrol engine. You've got good backup from the electric motors. It's not lacking. It's really, you don't need a V6 in this car. So big tick on the driveline. And of course, the automatic transmission, keyword here is automatic. You don't even need to think about it. It changes, it's easy, it's smooth. I gotta say, in terms of effortlessness, the RAV4's driveline is possibly its biggest selling point, and I guess that's why it's its biggest selling point. Now, also a key thing for being a family car, and something that we've found, is ride comfort. It's not as plush as you would perhaps like, maybe. You'll find bigger bumps and sharper hits, you do feel it, but it's never uncomfortable. It's never wobbling around or jarring. I've not had little people complain of anything in the back. They're busy on TikToks and iPads and whatever. It is a solidly comfortable car. It's perhaps trying to be a little bit sporty. It's giving you a little bit of feedback through, but it's not in a bad way. So yes, a tick, not its most glowing attribute, but it is something that is definitely worth having a test drive of a RAV before you do make the decision. So I guess then, with all the technical stuff sorted, what has this thing been like to live with? And I will say again, across myself and the team, it has rarely put a foot wrong. It is a very, very well-rounded car. It's not particularly exciting, it's not particularly special, but you go in with the Toyota badge knowing that. However, there are a few little frustrations. When you come to a stop, the doors don't unlock. You've got to go into a setting and tell the car to unlock on park. But say for school drop-offs, where you've got pre-teens eager to get out of the car and go and learn, you've got to unlock the door manually here from the driver's console before they can even get out of the car. Their handles don't actually activate the unlock, it's just frustrating, because at night, this doesn't illuminate this panel. So it is a bit of braille trying to find which button to click to then undo. Another thing, because we've been changing drivers with this car, is the seat position presets. It's just not as well sorted a system as it potentially could be in terms of the memory settings and memory response. So I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong or someone's resetting it when I'm not driving the car, but it hasn't particularly worked as well as it really should have for a car at this price point. But otherwise, running Apple CarPlay up on the screen means everything works well. Voice to text works well. The sound system's pretty good. It does do everything you need it to do. It is a very practical, very efficient, very easy to live with car. And as much as I would like to sort of give you a 50-50 balanced pros and cons approach to the RAV4 Hybrid, I have to say, this car is very firmly weighted in the pros category. In terms of fit for purpose, it does everything right, and it's easy to see why this is Australia's most popular car. If you are in the market for one, do your research, have a look, but be prepared to wait. We're seeing some pretty solid wait times for these things at the moment. So if you are interested, get an order in as early as you possibly can. So all said and done, while there's plenty that I did like, if I have to pick one thing I didn't really like about our RAV4 Cruiser Hybrid, it's the colour. The dark blue, the black wheels, didn't really work for me. So make an informed choice when you're shopping for your RAV4. Don't get a blue one. So even after a reasonably short ownership experience, it's easy to see why the Toyota RAV4 Hybrid is Australia's favourite car that isn't a ute. It's practical, it's reasonably affordable, it does everything you need, and that hybrid drivetrain, well, you don't even have to think about it. It just works, giving you real-world efficiency and economy. We only wish there was more stock on hand, so it's easier for you to buy one. As always, hit subscribe to stay up to date with all of our latest videos. Don't forget to hit the like button because we like that, and hit the bell icon to receive notification every time a new video is published. Of course, if there is more that you would like to know about our long-term reports with the RAV4 Hybrid, you can read all about it on Drive.com.au.